Welcome to Making Herstory. This isn't polished success stories. This is the fire, the chaos, the gut punch truth of women who refuse to play small. The real, feral stories. The messy, bold, audacious stories that flip the table and set shit on fire. This is where we roar. It's Ashley Crabb. Buckle up, babe. We're making herstory.
Yeah, and I had to do that becoming a mother, and becoming a mother so unconventionally. And another part of my story is that, my daughter is biologically my niece. We took guardianship of her when she was 2. She is 8 now. She is my sister's daughter. And the way our systems are set up and the way societal norms are portrayed and the way you're supposed to, go about things, people would be appalled at the way my husband and I handled the entire situation from the time we decided to have my niece move with us to the way we live our lives now. My sister, I have a great relationship with her. She is in Ivory's life. We have a little weird, but it works kind of family co-parenting dynamic. And there are a lot of things that happened, and it's her story to tell, so I won't get into too many details, but unfortunately, she went through some things that nobody should ever have to go through, and she was 20 at the time when it happened, and when some of the things happened, and so I was able to take my journey, take all the things I've learned, and understand how certain things are set up systematically, whether that be big pharma with, the opioid pandemic or, so many other things that were a part of her journey. And I had to look at those systems, and I had to look at the society that was telling us that she was this and she was that, and you need to do this and you need to do that. And I said, no. Shut up, because none of that is good for my sister as the human that she is, and the chance that she deserves to live a life that, heals from the things that have happened to her. And then it's also, not fair to her daughter, who is also now my daughter, and, we can show her that, there's other ways. And so that's what we've done. My sister and I both worked together at creating an example for Ivory by saying, we don't have to, even when it comes to Ivory herself and some things that we unfortunately had to help her with. And we decided, instead of going and some of the things she was dealing with, they were like, well, let's pump her with some psychiatric drugs, and she'll be fine, and see a therapist once in a while. Well, guess what? We're not doing that. So instead, we found some holistic healers like Shade Tree Embodied Wellness, Weave Chiropractic, and they were like, well, no, her nervous system is out of whack. This baby's holding on to some trauma. Let's heal it.
Yeah.
And so because we chose not to follow these systematic norms, these things that are put in place for us to suffer, we have been able to help this baby heal. I've been able to help my sister start her healing journey.
Yeah.
And we have a great relationship.
You are the village. You are the village.
Yeah.
And I didn't know some of that part of you and Ivy and your family's story. I'm glad you said that at the end. Not only did you help Ivy heal, you helped your sister heal. And I think so oftentimes too, we think that our situations define us and define our story and define how that's going to unfold. And every situation, every moment is just another chapter. And we get this opportunity to pivot and to change and to grow and to find our village. And our situations don't define us. And I just think that's so beautiful, the way you explain how your family works and how your family functions, because I think some other families would have just been like, we're going to care for this child, and I'm sorry, Mama, you're on your own, because we see that happen over and over and over again. Yeah. That, yes, our children are so important. Our children are also a lot less helpless than us. all of the things. I'm not saying they do not matter by any means. Am I saying that? But like, who's going to raise these babies if you don't take care of the moms and the dads, the parents in their lives?
Yeah, and that's what I say a lot. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's not necessarily the situations that make you, it's your resiliency of them and how you can bounce back. That was a big thing when I first dove into mindset and law of attraction. I thought you were not allowed to have one negative feeling or thought, or everything would crash and you would have to start all over and try and reprogram your brain again. And it was like, so for a good month or so, I did not allow myself to feel these negative things. And wow, did that backfire. I will never forget the day I emotionally blew up. And I quickly learned that it's not that bad if you're positive all the time, bad things won't happen to you. No. You will not always be able to control when bad things happen. What you can control is how you react to it and how you move forward from it. And so for us to be able to kind of take that situation and think about, like I say this all the time, I wish we could teach kids that just because a mom becomes pregnant does not mean that there's some switch in her that she now also knows how to parent. Nobody, mom or dad, know how to parent just because the baby was born. That doesn't mean they all of a sudden, I know that there are some things that are just kind of come natural to us, but it's, at the end of the day, when it comes to raising somebody and programming their brain and teaching them right and wrong and teaching them how to contribute to society, there's no way that you know how to do that just because all of a sudden you're supposed to.
Right.
And so when we're able to kind of sit back and realize that and stop, letting our judgment be clouded by all the noise and all the systems and all the societal norms, life becomes a lot more beautiful because you get to pick what's right or wrong. You get to say, well, no, I'm okay with this. It's okay if this person's in this kind of season. It's okay if they're learning this and they're not perfect. Meet them where they are, and that's okay as long as we're all honest here, as long as we're not hurting ourselves or each other. Like, stop putting so much pressure on yourself to meet these standards that society has put on us. Yeah, and like they're putting these standards on us and giving us absolutely no tools or support to meet those standards. The American dream is dead, and they keep saying, no, it's not dead, you're just not working hard enough. We're overworked. Okay, we're overworked.
I think the American dream has also changed, and
yes,
this is hard for me because I do come from, now we said American dream and I'm like, damn it, the American dream has just changed, and the American dream is not exactly the same for everybody. My vision of the American dream has changed significantly. And everyone's allowed to have their own American dream. We're America. Everyone gets to have their own. Like, maybe mine did used to be, I want not a white picket fence because, I'm a country girl, but, I want the white picket fence with the 2-car garage, and I want to be the stay-at-home mom, and my husband works, and I take care of everything in the house. Like, I'm not going to lie. When I first found out I was going to have babies, that was my vision. And I mean, you and I could talk for hours about this and, gender roles and the positions we take in partnership and all of that sort of stuff. And that's just my brain. There are so many things firing off in my brain now, but I think what it all comes down to is like, we want to be happy. We want to be joyful. We want to live a valuable life.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I agree.
And you're doing it in the way that isn't harming other people, that isn't hurting other people. Like, honey, if you want to go be a CEO at a Fortune 500 company, do it. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, do it. If you want to be a woman who owns her own business and retires her husband, do it. Like, do what makes you and your family the happiest and the healthiest and the safest, and do it while being kind to the people around you. It's kind of the golden rule.
Right, exactly. I stress all the time, success looks different to all of us, and I guess in my opinion of the American dream being dead, it's mostly because we're not the only developed country anymore, and we're not the only place that your dreams and your visions can come alive. And I think the American dream terminology was kind of meant to make you believe that that we are the only place.
Yeah.
But if you want to be here and you want to have that vision come to life, it can be here. But I also think we need to stop calling it a dream and make it a reality. If we keep believing it's a dream, you're giving yourself that limited belief, that you're giving yourself that okay to say yes, but not now. It's a dream because it's not now. I encourage you to let it be now and stop letting yourself, holding yourself back. And it really starts in who your community is, who you're surrounding yourself with, what you're consuming, what you're eating, what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're believing. And that's, that's my messaging, and that's why it's hard, because it is heavy. It's a lot. I hate what I call the manifesting gurus, because they say think positive all day, every day, and you'll have everything you want. Mm-hmm. Bullshit. It is so much deeper than that. You have to reprogram your subconscious. You have to make sure that you have a healthy gut and you're filling yourselves with healthy, natural foods. You have to make sure you're connecting with the energy, and spiritually you have some kind of belief system to hold on to, something to ground
have something
you.
higher than you. Something
Correct. And that was something that was really hard for me to figure out, because for most of my life I wasn't raised in the church. Mm-hmm. I have read and seen a million stories of how organized religion has done nothing but harm. And so, I've had a very weird journey of figuring out where that landed for me. And since I have been able to figure out what a higher power looks like for me, it's been huge, So that's one of the boxes you need to check off. It's a lot of things. And so I'm trying to, and that's, what this ebook is about, is all these things, but easily digested. And how can you just in your simple day-to-day life figure out how to adapt habits that bring you there, to bring these dreams to reality, to live the life you want to, not the life they want you to live.
Yeah, I love that. And I think I've been doing a lot of mindset work too, and I think one of the most empowering things has been saying, these are my dreams. This is my vision. This is my goal. This is where I want to be, and I don't feel ashamed of that.
Yes. No guilt.
I'm not ashamed of that, and I don't want it to be anything other than what I want. You know what I mean? And that's okay. It's okay to want for you and for your family and for your future.
Yes.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, it's important. It keeps you going.
Important. It is super important. And I didn't know about this ebook. Oh my God, I am so freaking excited. I cannot wait.
Yeah, wow. I am. It started kind of as a guide, and then after talking back and forth with business coaches and stuff like that, they were like, no, it needs to be a book. I've worked very hard on it. I've taken a lot of things I learned in my own college education, things I've learned in other courses I've taken since then, ebooks I've read, podcasts I've listened to, philosophers I follow, and just so many different things, personal experiences, things that, like I mentioned, stuff we had to go through with Ivory and getting her holistic help and learning so much about the nervous system. I was all of these things I've learned over the past 7 years of starting each one have changed my life and are important and crucial parts of changing a woman's life, because for most of our lives we've been, kind of following social norms, eating foods that have been given to us, listening to the type of music and movies and TV shows they want us to, that aren't really filling our brains with great stuff. There's a lot of destruction we have to do here to rebuild. Yeah. And so it is broken down, and it is, I really do, each section has multiple resources. Some of them have activities in some kind of exercise for you to do, and they may not all resonate with somebody. Somebody may read one and be like, I'm not doing that. That's fine. But if even one thing out of the 12 things in that book help you live a better, healthier, happier life, I'm good.
Yeah.
I am happy.
I love that. I love that. I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Thank you.
Cannot wait. Aliyah, I love you and your energy and the woman you are in our community and what you are doing. And this is a question that I love asking women, because someone might hear the word feral these days and be like, it's such a trend. Like, what is going on? But it's really not. And I think those of us who live a feral, audacious, loud life know that. And we recognize that. But I want to know what feral means to you, because it's different for every woman, and really that's the point. So lay it on me, babe. Lay it on me.
Well, I agree with you. I feel like it's almost being overused. So like some women are calling themselves feral and they don't really know what they're saying, because to me I would ask, oh, you're feral. Are you willing to set those boundaries? Are you willing to cut off those family traditions because they're toxic? Are you willing to stop following societal norms and start making your own food and deciding you're not watching that trash TV? Are you willing to say no to the things that everybody else says yes to? Are you willing to stop being a blind sheep? To me, being feral is completely thinking for yourself. It's being unapologetic in that. And then being confident about it, because you know who you are and you're going to show up as who you are. I think it's very hard to live a fake life. It's exhausting. If you lie, then you have to remember what you lied about so you don't catch yourself in that lie.
Also true.
It's just, it's a lot. So to me, being feral is being raw about your honesty, raw about who you are, and not letting anything that's put in place to make sure we don't be ourselves, not letting that get in your way, breaking down societal norms, breaking down things that are telling you can't have boundaries, you have to love people because they're family. It's one of my chapters in my one of the bingo calls from the bingo I just had was, blood is not always thicker than water. And so, those, are you willing to put yourself in those very uncomfortable positions to protect yourself and your loved ones? That's what feral is to me. Being able to be completely unique and standing in that.
I love that. And, oh man, you just hit so many good things, Aliyah. So many good things. So much. But it's hitting my brain right now. I feel like when you come into this feralness of life, it's like finally taking off that last bit of mask or costume jewelry or bullshit that you had, like because I think it's okay to recognize that we all go through those phases, like there would never be a point where I would look at you and be like, Aliyah, I know you went through a phase where you were a bold-faced liar, but like, so the word lie, like, I don't mean liar. Like, I don't mean, deceiving or deceptive or not telling, actually, I do mean not telling the truth, but not in like this evil, harmful sort of way. Even though actually when we don't unmask, okay, wow, I'm just eating all my fucking words at this point. But you know what I'm getting at,
yes,
right?
because if you're not honest with others, you're not honest with yourself. I mean, it was huge for me growing up. I am biracial, but my black side of the family was nowhere to be found. So I was raised by my white side of the family and had to live most of my life being asked if I was adopted, trying to figure out how my hair works. I still don't know this style I'm rocking today because it worked out, thank God.
To say, I don't know how my hair works either.
Not at all. But unfortunately, it's just a little, especially because of where we live. There's this big lack of hairstylists I can go to around here. There's a lot of things I myself dealt with identity-wise growing up, and I lied about a lot of things. I pretended to be a different, I pretend to like certain things or be different than I really was. And that's I think most high schoolers, but I'm sure many of us can think about even sometime recently where it's like, oh, I was in that setting that made me feel a little uncomfortable, so I wasn't really completely myself.
Right.
It's normal, but the more you practice it, right, but I encourage you to practice it more and live into it more and become a little bit more confident with letting people think you're weird, with letting people give you that side eye, like, did she really just say that? Yeah, bitch, I did. Like, and I'll say it again. Right. So, you know, get more comfortable with being uncomfortable, because nobody normal that kept their mouth shut and just followed the norms made a splash. Anybody that you know historically, you know them for a reason.
Anybody, no matter who they are.
Yep.
No matter who they are.
They opened their mouth.
Statement to make Aliyah. I love it. I love it. And yeah, I think that is beautiful. And I'm so happy that you have come into this being and are continuing to come into this being and sharing that with us, for sharing your story and your journey, and making a space where truly, I think this is actually the deepest you and I have maybe gone on this side, but like where anybody would truly feel welcomed. And I think that's a big thing. Creating a space where our differences don't define whether or not we feel supported or welcomed or deserving. I just think that's something so valuable that you are doing and offering.
Thank you. I really truly appreciate that. I do want to emphasize that, you know, politics involved or not, I don't care who you are. All I want is for you to care about humanity, care about living things, you know, give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, so we can all live here peacefully and not in fear. That is all I ask. And the rest of it, we can work out.
Yeah, we can
truly. Because we have to. And if you don't, then you're just thinking on a shallower level. And so I just want everyone to know that they can come to me and you can tell me, hey, I think you're wrong, and I want to know. I will love to learn. I love to be wrong because that gives you an opportunity to learn. Okay, I was wrong. Let me learn how to do it better or what is the right way, you know. And so I really appreciate you saying that, because I do. I want my energy to come off as safety.
Yep. I feel safe around you.
Oh, good.
So I hope everybody else does. I feel safe around you without innately agreeing with everything. And I think that's why our friendship has lasted 1.5 years, and why I love you and want other people to love you so much.
Thank you so much. I love you. I love you.
I love it. Well, everybody, I want you to make sure you follow Aliyah on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
BoTree, BoTree, life and home.
Okay.
BoTree, for the record, is short for Bodhi tree, which is the tree of life in Buddhism. So it's BoTree.
I love it. I love it. We will make sure to put that in the show notes. We will make sure to put your website in the show notes. Follow her. Keep an eye out. When's your next event? Do you have any more for this year?
Yeah, so with the holidays coming up, I'm not doing an in-person event, but there may be a virtual event that I was talking with a local healer about. But with the book is set to come out by the end. Again, it's an ebook, but it is set to come out by the end of the year. So that's my biggest focus right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we will keep an eye out for the ebook, for your next event, whether it be virtual or in person. And Aliyah, I just want to thank you so much for being raw and telling your truths and sharing your journey with us. And I have learned a lot from today, and I am so excited to take that with me moving forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was a pleasure. I always enjoy talking to you and sharing any insights I can to help other women live happy. So thank you.
I love it. You are welcome. Everybody, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Making Her Street, where we tell the raw, feral stories of female CEOs. I'm Ashley Crabb, and I can't wait to see you next week.
You've been listening to Making Herstory. Remember, your story isn't optional. It's your fire, your power, and the heartbeat of every space you build. So take up space, tell it raw, and keep building the kind of legacy that can't be ignored. It's Ashley Crabb, and I'll be back with more bold, brave, feral stories soon. And if you want to stay feral with me, hit subscribe, share this with your sisters, and let's make herstory louder together.